Well, okay, my friends, this is going to be short and sweet. Everything you see here is related to or is biology. That right there, my friends, is what you call a tendon mat. This is the tendon. That little strap comes up and it goes through that tendon mat, through a little slot, and it has a ball attached to that strap. The ball is normally inserted into some socket in the bone normally now, or it could be under another tendon mat somewhere, but it's locked into that tissue. It's not supposed to come out of there. This is an injury. That ball has pulled out, but this shows you what the structure is. There's a tendon strap to a ball. Now, that's inside of your body, magnified very, very highly. This is in Utah, Arches National Park. That is exactly the same structure, and that is the exact same ball. And originally, the fleshy part, or the bony part, whatever it was, would have been up right at this level right here. And that ball was locked in, just like the other one was, and the other one ripped out. This one didn't rip out, the other stuff washed away. There's another ball right there, another ball here, some more over here, because they come in huge clusters. There's one that broke off at an abrupt transition. You see the core? That would have probably come down maybe to here or probably to there, I would think. They're all over. And then this is all fleshy tissue. Everything I showed you and everything I will be showing is biology. This is out in Utah too. Guess what that is? They call those the Moki marbles. You see this stuff right here? That's flesh that has eroded down into what's called mud. Underneath is the basement layer. These were the interstitial balls, and above that was the skin. This was the skin of some enormous creature, and here's what it looks like. Those are those balls. And these are the layers of skin that eroded away. You know, you tip it up this way. And those are the balls. Now, we're going to be going over all this. This is the interstitium. See the balls right here? That's the skin. That's the skin. This is in the United Kingdom. I think it's called Hunston Cliffs or Hunston Beach, something like that. But it's in the United Kingdom. And that right there is the fleshy stuff that has the balls in it, that lets you go back and forth like this and come back to where you're supposed to be. That's the skin at the top. After it erodes and erodes and erodes, it turns into mud and the balls. The balls are tough. The mud is just gush. So that's how the whole thing falls out. Now these are the Moki marbles. Same thing happened over here, only it's gone now. Well, everything's gone. This is what it looks like in the body. And this was just discovered 2018. All of that layering of stuff, all of this stuff. They really didn't know it was there before, because by the time they got it, it was flattened out to a pancake. I think I got something here. Yeah, here it is right here. Meet your interstitium, newfound organ. That's all that stuff. All these balls. You see it? And this is the fluid-filled highway that is really basically your immune system, and this is the layer of immune cells, basically. The most important ones are right in here, and they keep you from being attacked through that layer. This is all, it all ties together. So this is not just about rocks, and it's not just about history, and it's not just about giants, and it's not just about God and all of that stuff. It's about all of that stuff. It's funny how those things work together sometimes. Look at this. This is a tendon in us. You have thousands of them in you. And then they break down to these little tiny fibrils, and here they are. They're block to block to block to block, and here's the blocks. We're down here. And then they end up with a ball underneath. Here's what they look like at the very end. You see it? All those little straps come down to balls. And then there's a bunch of other balls that are down underneath that are just anchors that sort of give it structure so they can't pull out. And here's the way they work. Ligaments, tendons, muscles, anthesis. The anthesis is right where it attaches into your bones or your muscle, your tendon and so forth. It's the anchor part. And that's what these are. And then they have these little balls are everywhere, 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 everywhere. And nobody's ever been able to talk about, well, you know, I mean, they're everywhere. They're all over the place. They're all over the world, these balls. Here's one from well, here's right here. It's right from there. That's exactly where it's from. Something right like that, which is a ligament. It attaches a bone to another bone. I show you that. So in other words, there's this little thing right in here. It goes between this bone and another bone, so they can rock back and forth. And those are tough. Well, you can see it sticking up here, just laying there. But that's all. Well, here it is. Let me see if I can find one. All right, well, here's that was a ligament. Ligaments are different than tendons. Tendons, see here, runs from a muscle into your bones and so forth. Ligament goes between bone to bone, see it? Bone to bone. And that's that little neck, and a ball was sticking up. One of these balls was sticking up in the air. Simple as that. All right, now, you know, I just showed you that video with Bob out there in Utah. This is a tour company in Utah. It's called Mountain Based, I believe. And I am going to highlight tour companies in certain areas. I've done some in the Mideast, and they have corresponded back asking questions about how can you explain this, how can you explain that? And that's what I want. So I don't know about this company here. This goes back 4 years ago, and they don't have, you know, they had one other tour company, Mr. Hunting's Adventures, chimed in on it, but that's about it. And but it's called Mountain Based. Explore Utah with Mountain Based Adventures. Now, Utah has a lot of stuff to look at. And I've looked at it, you know, by doing just what I'm doing here. I'm going through other people's videos, and I'm highlighting them, and I'm going to talk about them. Now, if they want to talk to me, I'm more than willing to discuss and have them do some research with me. And I could do some research with them. And it could make a very interesting group tour, I think. So let's talk about what they see. And like I said, I'm going to maybe do one on the other guy that talked about there, and see if we can get some interest in this. Here goes. Oh my God. This is what it, look at those layers. Oh my God, this is absolutely fabulous. This is where a little blood is collected here, and it just stays powdery. The red blood is just runs right out. But this is a connective tissue. There is so many thicknesses and layers of connective tissue in creatures' bodies. It's staggering. This is very good. And this is what I need, is to have people right on site be able to walk up, look at this, sample it, put a little, you know, hydrogen peroxide on it or some chemistry on it to see. Very simple stuff. Nothing that's invasive. Nothing that's going to destroy the atmosphere and the, you know, the wildlife. But you see that? That came right out of there. That's where there was a pocket of blood. That's how creatures' bodies form. And that's how they're fed. All these people are looking at this and just in marvel, saying, well, how could this possibly have happened? Look at these layers. Look at this, the patterns. Look at the chemistry. If they're into the chemistry realm, with, you know, in awe, absolute awe. But to understand it, and then be able to go out and look at it, and be able to walk up to it face to face and touch it, and look at these arches. You know what that arch is? I can show you what that arch is. This is, Utah is very, very, very spectacular. Okay, I'm going to be going over tour companies' videos about, and sort of highlighting them, and maybe it'll help them out, maybe it won't, I don't know. But at least I want to give them an opportunity to ask questions, and I want the opportunity to discuss what they see, rather than just have everybody in awe about, wow, look at this. And when you want to be in awe, just think about this. This guy or person, whoever it is, walking on top of this strap on that ball, which was a tendon enthesis, and a creature, a creature that you can't get your mind around, because this, you need a very, very powerful microscope to see this inside of a human being, as I showed you, and will one more time. That, remember now, look at the size, and just think about the difference in that compared to this. It's the exact same thing. Only this one is removed out of the socket. That one's still in the socket, but all the socket has eroded away. You can still see the strap. Same stuff. Same thing right there. Bing, bong. And that's coming right out of a tendon mat. And that's in your body. So this, and here's another one up here. Look at this. This is where an anchored in here. Some little muscles from somewhere, I don't know where. But as it comes out, you see these? This is an abrupt transition. That's another abrupt transition. And that is as it goes into muscle. Then the muscle becomes kind of floppy. But look at what it does do. It keeps these tight junctions. You see in here? When you were alive and moving, when this thing moved and was alive, these things all had to slide back and forth along with each other and not separate. That's what that Slurpee stuff is I'm talking about. We got a lot to look at because you can see it all. I saw all this stuff before they even knew it existed. I'm not kidding you. They didn't know about interstitium. I could see it. I mean, I could see everything that's going on inside here. So I had a lot of questions. And I still do, but I got a lot of answers now. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You see this? These are tendon enthesis, and sometimes they grow with the crystals inside the center here like this. And then they have breaks, and to where they have a different mineralization, and then it goes out to the muscle and so forth. Well, look at this. This, my friends, is the same thing. Where is it? That's the same crystals. We're inside of one of those balls. And those are the crystals. See? That is this. And it's so far beyond the average human mind to be able to comprehend this. You have to sit down for a while and think. Don't just jump up and say, that guy's insane. Well, that's a good possibility. Maybe I am, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. If I could produce evidence, I'm not producing artificial intelligence saying, show me something that looks like this or that. And you could make it anything. I could say, show me people that landed on the moon with mouse crawling up their back. And you'll see it now, and you could not in any way possible tell the difference if it was real or fake. That's the problem with artificial intelligence. They can make anything fake. You can't fake this. You walk up, touch this, and put your tongue on that. That's a whole different story than looking at pictures about stories about, because the artificial intelligence just make it happen now. And like I say, you could tell it to do anything you want. So I want a snake crawling up the guy's leg, biting a mouse that's nibbling on his ear while the guy screams. And it'll do it. And you'll never even be able to tell the difference. That's the problem. I live in the real world.